Hey guys, it's Major Foley here, and we are up to the level Light Sleeper. Not exactly one of my favorites, if I'm going to be frankly honest with you guys. Sorry, just readjusting my chair. I'm in the process of getting a new chair, guys. I'm sorry about this one. I'm looking at an ergonomic one. So the basics of this level: we start with no base, but we eventually get one. However, we do have to fight through a small army to get there. Now, depending on how much you aggro at the time, it's either going to be very difficult or moderately difficult. Sometimes you'll win, sometimes you'll lose. It's not. So you just want to slowly bait little by little units because there's a bunch of Anubites also with them, and we've seen how deadly Anubites can be. Now, in this level, we are under Ra, so our Pharaoh empowers better, and our priests can also empower, so we're going to be using that to our advantage in terms of resources. Now, if you want to know their rates, they're on the wiki. I can never remember the rates they can empower at, so that's on you guys to figure out. Maybe after this, I'll take a look, and I might put the stats in the gold edition description. I might even just go to the wiki and copy the empowering stats in the description. It'll be helpful for you guys, I guess. Anyway, after that, we're on a time limit, but you got a pretty good, decent length of time to get the sword that we've just uncovered in the Lost Relic to the Sleeping Guardian. Now you can do this multiple ways. There are 3 or so entrances to get in there. Quite frankly, I wouldn't bother with the one on the water because I've tried, and if you attack the one on the water, they'll tend to send some forces there. It's not worth it. So I'd take the one that's close to your base. There's 2 entrances. You'd have your main army attack the front gate, and a couple of, say, siege towers or scarabs attacking the other one to take care of some of the towers that can hurt a lot of your troops. Now, forces are mainly going to consist of priests and either cavalry / war elephants and Chariot Archers. Chariot Archers and Priests are a mainstay of the army because there's going to be a lot of Avengers and other Chariot Archers. You could replace Chariot Archers with Slingers, but then they're not good against the Spearmen they also have. So it's up to you if you want to just go straight out counter for the Chariot Archers, or you want to use Chariot Archers to attack Chariot Archers and Spearmen, whereas your Priests and your Heroes will take care of the Avengers, which are Mythic Age units, which pack a pretty punch. The War Elephants are. I prefer to go War Elephants on this level because despite them being more expensive, and even though Ra gives a bonus to cavalry, they do a lot of damage to buildings themselves. They do a lot of damage to everything. Plus, they're a lot more tankier, so they're going to last longer. How much longer depends on how often they're attacked, but that's up to you to choose either cavalry or elephants. I might try cavalry on the gold edition, and we'll see how we go there. But either way, we're going to be training a lot of villagers. We're going to want at least 25 on food minimum because we're going to be spending a lot. We'll probably want about 20 on gold, and I'd say maybe 10 to 15 on wood. And we're going to have 2 Migdol strongholds producing both. Now, enough with the explanation. Let's get started.
The sword of the Guardian, used by Horus to defeat Set once before. Now one of his followers, Kemsyt, seeks to take it.
Kemsyt? He is your enemy?
He has captured a temple to Osiris near here. There is a Guardian at the temple, but it sleeps. If we return the sword to the Guardian, it will awaken.
It seems the gods have smiled on us.
Alright, so remember to set your control groups for this section, at least.
The Oasis village near here is loyal to the Dark God Set. I slay other local villagers to mine gold for Kemsyt.
Alright, so I'm going to say this, at least the other day I was actually practicing some strats for this because I wanted to figure out what I was going to do. Because this is, like I said, this is not one of my favorite levels. And I've noticed that sometimes, like I was loading from a save, sometimes Kemsyt will cast Vision, sometimes you'll cast the Ancestor power at your base, so just be aware of that. And 2 other things that are slightly important. I mentioned that you're on a timer. The timer is indicated by Kemsyt's main army coming back to guard the Guardian, essentially. So as long as you follow that, you know roughly your timings. He gets to the Guardian at about 25 minutes, I think. However, I've noticed at times he'll attack the second base at either 16 minutes, sometimes he'll attack it at 14 minutes. I think it depends on how fast you get to the village. Another thing is, too, sometimes you kill after you can get the Guardian, you have to kill Kemsyt's army. And when you do, you don't always end the level. That's because some of his units get stuck. So you have to get rid of that. You have to kill the stuck units. It means going all the way around to go kill him. Now, remember to focus down the Anubites. Even have your Chariot Archers focus down the Anubites, because the quicker you can kill them, the better. You want to kill the Anubites heading for your units too. They'll jump around. So you're very likely going to lose human troops here, because they really like going for them. Now, even if you lose your human troops, it's not devastating if you do. So don't worry about it, because you'll be training a lot more later. But yeah, we've won this little fight. So only one Chariot Archer lived, but it doesn't matter. I could have done that a lot better by keeping my heroes in front of the Chariot Archers and the Slingers, and they likely would have lived.
Free at last. Please guide us safely home, and we will offer you what help we can.
But quite honestly, it doesn't matter. Now, we're only going to bring 5 laborers with us. The rest are staying here. Now, send your heroes forward, and remember, if any of your heroes fall, reassign them to the control group, because you'll lose it. So I'm going to keep my ones over there. Now, the reason why we want to send the heroes forward is because this pass is full of mummies. And if your human soldiers get hit by their special ability, they'll turn into their minions and be instant killed. So, best not to have your human soldiers there at all, or your villagers for that matter. Forgive me if I say villagers or gatherers or whatever, guys. I just call them villagers as a general umbrella term, but they are laborers. They are a little different than, you know, gatherers and shit. But I'm always likely to call them villagers just because I played a lot more AoE 3 than I played AOM, so... and they were usually the same. Alright, so this relic we got, the Ankh of Ra, provides us like 2 or 3 favor a minute, I believe, when you deposit it in a temple. So it's not a lot, but it's still something, which is pretty nice to have. Especially since we'll be building Scarabs. We're going to want at least 4 to 5 monuments, 5 being the maximum, 4 being, well, close to maximum, when we train our Scarabs. So for the first, like, 10 minutes, we're going to be just focusing straight out on economy. We're not even going to care about an army. So kill these crocs before you bring the villagers forward. There's about 2 or 3 of them. Yeah, there's 3. Strange thing is, Kemsyt's part of Set, but he's got a monument that's under Isis, so you can't cast god powers near him either. Which doesn't matter, since most of the god powers we have are global anyway, so it won't matter too much. Now, once the villager says our men have returned, we're sending these guys straight back up here.
Look, our men have returned.
And runs to go, and they go back.
Thank you, strangers. Kemsyt forced us from our home, the sacred city of the Guardian. We will join you to defeat him.
Now, we're going to use the food down here first. Don't bother aging straight away. Get hunting dogs and get all the basic upgrades you can get, essentially. Train a few fishing ships, because there's 4 spots we can take advantage of. And train a few priests, because as we're under Ra, we can use priests to empower too. So the Pharaoh, remember,
Returning to the city. Only the neighboring villages stand in his way.
remember guys, that empowering a town center does not speed up villager production or advancing when you're advancing ages. It's only for training other units and upgrades. So just keep that in mind.
Kemsyt's army has reached the first village.
Last one's over here. We do have a priest going there? Yep. We want a priest on the gold up there to help increase our drops. So remember, 10 gold equals 12 gold with a priest, and so on. We'll get husbandry when we tech. We'll just use these gazelles for now. I guess a lot of people say it saves on the food drying out, so I guess that's why they do it. Doesn't surprise me if they're right. I don't usually play multiplayer, so I tend to like researching husbandry straight away. So we're going to save rain until we hit the 3rd age, because we're going to be using a lot of food. Now you'll get small attacks at your base. Not too deadly until they start sending Avengers. They like to come down here a lot, so that's why I kind of position my units here. Alright, now that we've got enough food, we'll advance. We're going to go under Bast because she gives us a couple of economic upgrades, and Sphinxes aren't bad if you want to really build that early defense. It's not really necessary. So there's the Avengers with 600 health and 28 attack, and a decent melee armor. Alright, now that we're advancing, we're not going to be getting any more villages. We're going to train a few more priests, because again, I want to be able to empower stuff, plus construction. So I want to get 4 monuments. I'm definitely going to get 4 monuments at the least, because I plan on getting Scarabs to be our side siege up here. Whereas our main army will be elephants and chariot archers over there. Now we're going to research the husbandry upgrade. Alright, no one's on that town center anymore, so we can go over there, empower all these buildings. And the moment you advance, just get all the economy upgrades again. You're in no danger, really. And when more villagers train from here, we're going to construct the monuments and the armory, and then we'll send them off to other spots. The reason why we want so many priests is because when we do attack, he has a good chunk of Avengers. I think like 8 to 10, maybe more. So having your priests focus firing them down, it will be very helpful. Remember, you can use town center waypoints to, you know, send them to construction buildings or to resources you really want. If you really want to be micromanage heavy. Alright, so we're going to get our economy upgrades. There's more quail, crown crane over there. Not quail. Why did I think quail? Alright, I think we can afford one more monument. Because monuments under Ra are cheaper. Alright, we're out of food there. I think there's more down here, but I don't like to take that little risk. I don't think there is, though. We can always build more farms, and there's a bunch more crown crane here. Well, was. If you do need more gold gatherers, you can either send them back up there, plus build a market, or you can just send them here too. Alright, now with that done, we'll build the armory. With the priest's help. Pharaoh can now go up here, probably. Yeah, becomes another attack. Alright, start using the farms. So we are just going to get as much food as we can. Now, I don't know if the monuments, higher monuments provide faster favor rates. I've got to look that up. I think they, I'm not sure if they provide a faster rate than, say, the smaller ones, or if they provide the same rate and it just compounds. I think that's what they do. Armory upgrades are going to be especially important, guys. So get copper shields, get all the upgrades in the 3rd age, really, or when you're advancing. Because you want to save mostly your food and gold to advance as quick as you can. So he's starting to move on forward again. So we're going to put more on gold. Just going to send them over there. The problem with empowering buildings with too many buildings, guys, is that priests cost 2 pop as well. So the more priests you have empowering, the less you're going to have on a frontline army. Now, we're going to go with Sekhmet, who provides a citadel, which also gives us an extra 10 population, which is going to be very handy for us. And she'll give us the bone bow, which is good for our chariot archers that we're planning on getting. And if you choose to go for siege towers, you can get more health points and crush damage for it. Alright, so now that we're upgrading, we get copper mail.
We need a strong force to escort the sword bearers.
Probably should move the sword bearers down there. I completely forgot I left them up there. Don't want to do that. Get copper weapons next. So I'm gonna get 3 scarabs when we push up here, and then the rest, most of the time, we'll be training more priests. There's also the fortified town center upgrade we'll be getting, which provides an extra 5 pop, because we're gonna want a mass when we attack, and then we're pretty much gonna be doing the Zapp Brannigan strategy of wave after wave of our own men on the front of the gate. That's how it's pretty much going to be. Alright, now that we've advanced, get the bone bow, get the irrigation upgrade as quick as you can so we can use rain, get the quarry upgrade, get the carpenter's upgrade, and then we'll get bronze shield. Actually no, since we're getting bone bow, we'll just wait a sec. I want to start building the migdols after we deal with his attack. So yeah, have the priest focus on the Avenger. As you can see, that he takes quite a few hits. That's why you want a good chunk of priests. And you can see priests don't really do much to other units. Alright, so we get the migdol. Turn this into a fortified town center now. Oh, sorry, citadel. And we'll get the copper shields upgrade. Get a few scarabs, since we can afford to do so now. Get the salt amphora upgrade. Alright, that's enough on gold. I need a few more on farms now. So you know what? Keep those ones going to gold. Have these guys just build farms now. And we'll put this priest temporarily on the citadel. And we should be able to get another migdol in a sec. Yep. So the second village will be hit in the next few moments. So we're going to keep our scarabs back. I don't want them getting injured because they'll be taking their own punishment soon enough. And it's real close. Bam. Alright, we're gonna get a lot of food now. So we're gonna get heavy elephants. Alright, now with that done, we can go back on wood. And I want to put a few more on wood. Get the last armory upgrades required. We definitely want to get Levy Migdol soldiers. So there's the second village at 1445.
Kemsyt's army is pillaging the second village.
And then we want to get heavy chariots. Priest, please. See, 25. You get more than 25. It's very nice to have. Alright. So this one's going to train war elephants and chariot archers. We're going to have them both training too, and if production slows down in any way, we can readjust. So we can say one only does chariot archers, one does chariot archers and elephants, as an example. And what we're going to want to do is build the mass. We also need to get a few more houses up and running, because we are not at critical mass that we can get. So the reason, like, I normally do start with this gold mine here, because it's easy for your mass to all get it. Get rid of those Avengers. It doesn't matter if your injures and units also get hurt too, because your priests will heal. So have your units fight. But yeah, if you build it here, you'll eventually run out of gold. So building it here, they'll go straight to the next gold mine. Alright, I think that's all I need for wood right now. I'll get a couple more for gold, and then that's it. Alright. So now we're building our critical mass. Elephants on 2, chariot archers on 3, priests on 4. We want priests on their own hotkey. Just because most of our heroes are melee oriented and priests are ranged. Get the fortified town center upgrade. I don't want to use any priests empowering buildings either. Alright. So once we get a bit more resources, which we have got, we're gonna push forward. Make sure your units move. If you move too quickly, guys, they will might not respond to your commands. So we're gonna send the Scarabs up here. I'm gonna have the elephants go in first because they'll do some decent damage to the walls and they can tank. You can choose to build a third Migdol if you want, if you've got the resource capability to do so. Wait, okay, and here we go. So now with the heroes and the elephants, we go forward. And we're going to cast Eclipse down here because we can't cast it at the wall here. Kill the spearmen. Alright, now have your heroes try to focus down the Avengers. Try to shift click the Avengers with your priests. And have your Scarabs take care of the towers around here. Ajax, why aren't you on the front? See, I don't think... See, these are supposed to be... Heroes are supposed to be good against the animals of Set, but they throw rocks at them, so I don't believe they are, personally. Now, this is where cavalry might play a better role than elephants. But send your Scarabs down here, too, to take care of the tower. Because, yeah, I don't find the priests do any good damage against the animals of Set. So we got a lot more resources than I actually thought with what I got. So I'm going to build another Migdol. And keep the production coming. Alright, so all the towers are gone. So our priests and ranged units are safe if they go up closer to the walls now. Because elephants are also slow moving. They're like Minotaur. If you remember in the earlier levels I was doing, the Minotaur like to chase units that were knocked away. So they're slow to move. But once they get into action, they're powerful. Like they can take... I wouldn't say they'd be able to one-shot like 1v1 an Avenger, but they'll do some decent damage to one. As you can see, we're breaking through. So we're just going to keep pushing forward. And these guys can go back to wood. And this one, we're just going to train more war elephants. Now, every time you're moving forward, adjust your waypoint accordingly so your reinforcements are always getting to the front line. Don't forget to keep reassigning your control groups if you can. So once the animals of Set are gone, it becomes a lot easier. I don't understand, really, because they said they're countered with heroes, but priests don't work well against them for some silly reason. Try to, like, because if you... what I'm saying. If you got Chariot Archers still around, try to focus fire theirs down so they lose a lot of their firepower. Don't worry about the Spearman taking on the Elephant. One Spearman is not going to do crap all to an Elephant. Oops. Right-click the farm upgrade. Move them forward. Now, you could just go straight for the gate and ignore the Migdol. But probably better off getting rid of the Migdol. Like, you're in no hurry. They haven't even hit the third village yet. Now remember, sometimes, like I said, they'll cast Ancestors. Sometimes they'll be a little faster. I don't know how it works at times. AI is not exactly consistent in every level. But honestly, I think this is just the best way to go. The elephants are tanky enough, especially in terms of range armor, that you can just overwhelm the enemy, and you'll eventually get your own massive Chariot Archers that'll counter theirs. Alright, let's bring the Sword Bearers forward, because the gate's about to go down. Okay, Okay, see, one item of Kemsyt under Isis, and then the rest is under Set. Ridiculous, eh? All for the benefit of not using a power next to them. Now, you can destroy the rest of the bases. There's a town center back here if you want. It's not necessary, but if it gives you something to do. So you just hit the third village. If you're quick enough, you can actually save the third village. Like, he will stop attacking the third village if you already get the Guardian. And he'll just come straight for you. Oh, we are out of wood, are we? But yeah, it looks like we didn't save the third village this time.
The Guardian awaits.
Now let's see if he's left any units behind. It's only one. We should be alright. If it's like 3 here, we have to go chase him down. If it's only 1, we should be alright. So we saved part of the village. Let's see how well an elephant can do against an Avenger. Well, never mind, he got shot down by Chiron. So, just have the Guardian focus on the groups because he has AoE, and he can pretty much 1 or 2 shot most of them. So kill, like, as they come along. These elephants aren't upgraded like these ones because they came from this direction here. They were just waiting. It's a lot of siege tower, well, watchtowers that just don't do nothing. Because elephants are tanky bastards like that. The problem with the Guardian is when he attacks, he'll sometimes miss because the units are just moving away from him too. So just clean this up and you win. Yeah, we don't have to go chase that one down. And that's it. Now, the gold, guys, I just got to mention, the gold edition might take a little longer to come out than normal. It's usually an hour after this one, but it might take a little longer. Meantime, though, look forward to these videos. If these videos upload at the time I think they're gonna, I'm probably gonna be streaming some Super Mario 3D World. So if you want to watch me on Twitch, the link's in the description. I'll probably be streaming that tonight, and then probably something else a little later. So if you want to come watch me live, I'm there. But I'll try to get the Gold Edition video up before I start. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll probably be doing the same strat instead of the cavalry strat, to be honest, because I'd like to break down that wall, and elephants are better than cavalry. But with the amount of resources I was holding there, we're definitely probably going to build a third Migdol straight away after we build our critical mass. So, like I said, it's just like wave of wave after your own men to counter his, and then he'll slow down while yours is still staying strong. So, I'll see you guys next time.